Hello friends, hello loyal audience. So this is video number 5 of my commentary on Alien, the movie, 1979 release. Today is October 21st, 1:37 p.m. So I got a couple of ideas I want to show to you first before we proceed from this point on. So here, as you can see, there is a light with yellow stripes. Now I know there's like the main characters here are both actually blue and red, right? But the yellows, I explained those as like the lower quality, according to them, the lower quality, possibly human beings or so, or they're interfacing by way of yellows, right? Right? See on her jacket, right? Now like I said, I will explain to who I believe he is or he represents in this movie. But now I don't know whom he is communicating this with, right? Let's see. I believe the camera here is really an alien. And I will tell you before I continue with this video number 5 that there is a set of actors in this movie that are not seen or named. As I showed you earlier in the titles, right? And the number of sleepers in the hibernation chamber or that temple with those white gowns or whatever it is. So there are some hidden things here. And whenever the camera is moving, right? Whenever the camera is moving, and if not, if you do hear hums and noises like these outwardly noises, that means the camera is really an alien looking on.
Ripley, I want to ask you a question.
You'll get whatever's coming to you.
So to me, that seems like a promise, right? Although Ripley and Dallas are cohorting with this fallen angel or the devil, or let's call him Damien or 666 or whatnot, right? And that's his sidekick, which is a human, right? They are doing that because of some mutual interest. So Ripley and Dallas, they're doing that due to some mutual interest between the two, and that is finding what they're looking for, and that is the money safe, right? The safe of the money, or a certain creature, a human being, call him Jonesy, or trap God, right? So that's what they're trying to do here. Wishful thinking on behalf of those blues, man, or Ripley or whatnot, right? But anyways, so here she promised him there is no love lost between the two, and there's hostility and declared. Now, when I showed you in previous videos that Dallas told him you'll get what you're getting, right? What you're contracted, and he was throwing breadcrumbs down, and then he had his leg up, right? His leg up means maybe he's stepping on him. I've seen this gesture before, right? It kind of step on you, and I'll go show you that now. But here, let's.
I'm not going to do anymore.
So here.
Ask you a question. If they find what they're looking for out there, does that mean we get both shares? Don't worry.
So here, there is a promise. A promise of a fight, or yeah, you'll get whatever is coming to you, and that does not mean shares or money. Here, what she's saying is, you violated the law of God, right, in heavens, and then brought Lambert, if Lambert is Eve, or her, if she's Lilith, or her ancestors, right? And then he is promised, punishment and hellfire and so on. That's what she's saying here. Or she could be saying that, you'll get whatever is coming to you. And she didn't explain whatever is coming to him. But seems to me like she has no plan of fulfilling her end of the bargain. Neither does Dallas, right?
Parker, you'll get whatever's coming to you.
Right? So you get it, right? Now he, of course, I don't know if he understood that, but he probably did. And now he's in a corner, right? And now his sidekick goes like echoing his parrot, right? Let's call him his parrot.
Look, I'm not going to do any more work to get this straightened out.
Brett, chair.
So when she talks to Brett, she talks different than when she talks uh, to Parker, right? He's guaranteed by law, right? So now the look on her face is different. The look on her face is reassuring Brett, while when she was talking to Parker, she was really threatening him. Oh, you will get whatever is coming to you, right? And
What?
Why don't you just fuck off?
What?
here, fuck off, meaningly here, the rest of the conversation means just go, leave. You know, you don't need to stay in this bargain, right? Or this deal or this partnership, evil partnership, right? What she's telling them is, right, you don't like it, take your stuff and go, right? Pick up your stuff and go, right? That's what she's saying, you know, just F off, right?
What you say, Rick?
If you have any trouble, I'll be on the bridge.
Here, what that means, she knows that on their own, they're out in the wilderness, right? And under the weather and covered and. So what she's saying here is that they need her, right? They need her to be like if they have any trouble, right? She'll resolve it for them. What kind of trouble is that? Financial, blah blah. And Parker really understood the whole conversation and the message, right? Look, look, she's looking. Now he's begging her to come back here, right? Come back here, come back here. He realizes that he probably pressed her so much and aggravated her. And now he's afraid to lose his partnership and deal or, his shelter with her, or Zion, her Zion, Sarah, and Ripley. This guy's apparently here, he's clueless. Well, so it seems. I want to show you something else about him.
What's the matter?
So when he turned on the nozzle and then started blowing steam, right? Meaningly, he doesn't like it, but he continued to do whatever he should do to keep his bargain. This is the ancient primordial city here where the derelict ship is, right? Okay, I wanted to make a point in there, and then I'm going to make another point. Give me a second. Okay, I made a comment here on 12 and 11 and whatnot, right? But 7 is the number, and I am now thinking that in that box that shook when the entity passed by it, or the spirit, right? Here, there are, like I said, there's a set of actors in this movie that is not exactly apparent or obvious or declared. And that's the other world, the world of spirits. Oh, well, according to those Westerners, angels and demons, and according to us, angels and devils, right? Different understanding. Muslims do understand that different. Or we are instructed to for different notions or definitions of them. Okay, this is like good morning music, but here I wanted to show you that I missed it. The camera that moves around the table where they're eating breakfast is in fact that alien, or one of, right? So notice here, right? The alien is standing here next to her, right? Notice he starts moving, right? The camera here is the alien. If the camera is stationary, it may or may not be. Most likely, it's not that spirit that is watching or attending. But if it moves, it's always the case. However, if it doesn't move, it may or may not be. It's highly likely that it's not, but sometimes it is, right? It is that spirit or alien, right? Okay, so I made my comment on this and I changed it, and I'm going to change it again. No, I'm going to keep it as the second one. This guy here is maybe related to him, or something of the sort, or of the same world, right? That's what they're saying. And that is the fallen angel. That is Parker, right? But notice, so now the camera is in motion, right? Scrolling around the table, and that is the alien, right? I don't know what that is. Looks like Sinbad's fanus or light, that Sinbad thing, the genie and out of the bottle or whatever it is. Looks something like weird Asian to me, right? But now we're going to see something here that's very telling. Notice, I mentioned to you something about, right? Notice, Brett is looking at at the camera, the moving camera. What does that mean, right? What does that mean? I think that tells me that Brett here is really seeing the entity that is moving. You see what I'm saying here? He's looking exactly at the camera. So could he be aware of all those foreign entities or spirits or whatever they are, the xenomorphs or the aliens that are now moving about in invisible camera? Maybe he knows. Here it tells me so, right? See, he's looking at the camera, which means he's looking at the alien. Is he like fully fledged partner with the alien? I don't think so, but I think he somehow knows. Maybe he is the alien, pretending to be weak and no personality and so on and so forth. Well, we don't know. Let's watch out, right? Let's keep watching. So, did you see that? So he sees, right? So maybe the alien or whoever entered the ship and now circling them, seeing what's going on, and this world does exist, by the way. Now he's looking at him, right?
I am cold.
So I am cold means something to me. What does it mean? Here, I'm going to change my theory. I think because of the entity passed or stood by here or passed by here, the atmosphere got colder, right? You know what I'm saying is when there are spirits, the atmosphere gets colder. And that's how they show you in horror movies. It's really a belief, a common belief that's not really true, right? That when entities or supernatural entities are around, the atmosphere gets colder, right?
Still with us, Brett.
I don't know. Maybe he also sees what's going on because the entity stopped and looked at him, right? Which means the camera. Now the cameras are stationary.
Right.
Or it could be still the alien looking at them back and forth. It situated itself and sat between the two, between Brett and Parker. He winked, right? So he looks at him. As soon as he winks, he looks at him. This guy, like I said, he is also an angel. I think that's what he is. Well, he's not an angel. They're making an assumption about him. What he is and so on, I will explain later. Okay, so that's the two comments I'm going to make in additional to what I already made. And like I said, there's far more than that, right? There's far more than that. I don't know why when I upload my videos, they're blurred on YouTube. Anyways, there's far more than that, but like I said, everything here is not haphazard or perchance or accidental or, require, and it's not redundant requirements to make a set look like an alien ship or something like that. No. There's everything here has a meaning. And again, here you're probably seeing blue. However, the color here, it'll be nice if you watched my comment and you watched your own movie, right? Here the color is really white. So these guys are not meeting in a blue room, right? They are actually meeting in a white environment, meaningly out in the open. Similar to when I explained to you in the movie The Matrix, right? My commentary in there is like before the bridge, there's like cars and lights and it's white, right? It's like a hustle and bustle of life, of humanity. While behind Adam Bridge, right? Adam Bridge, there's darkness and there's nothingness there, right? So that's an exclusive place. Either world of spirit or in fact it means the occult or secret organizations. Okay, again, I think this is Jonesy's carrier or cage. So here the title of this scene is Proceeding Blindly, meaningly their mission and its information base and is no longer perfect, right? It's compromised, meaningly they're going in blindly now. So whether they go in or they don't go in, here's what that chapter title or scene title is. You see all these scenes here, okay. So they have titles. Sometimes the title reveals to you what the producer or writer or director are thinking about, right? Or whatever they know, you may be able to deduce some facts from it, right? So there's like a reflection of the yellow. Again, what are the yellows? I really don't know. They seem to be like some kind of a service class or communications or interfacing class or something of the sort. So as I mentioned, these are, the other crew members. And then again, the leathery objects are the crew members of one ship. And perhaps, this space jockey, the one that hops from here and there, that is the other Sarah. So you see Sarah or Ripley in subsequent or sequels of the movie, right? Aliens, blah, blah, 6 or 7 of them, I don't recall. But there is before. So before this movie, there was that Sarah, the ancestor, or the same one, hopping from one location, from one society to another, from one civilization to another, from one time into another. The woman is really the foundation and the sacrificial lamb of this particular edifice, Zion, right? That's how it is. Guess what? Cowardly bunch. All right. So. Okay, notice the way Dallas, although he allowed him to go through with it because he's not aware of the consequences, right? He did not calculate his chances and so on and so forth. So he allowed his own son Cain to go down and, or Ishmael. Let's go for Ishmael for now, right? Now he allowed him to go down there, right? But he's worried about him. Notice how he talks to him.
You okay down there?
You okay down there? I mean, he's concerned about his son going into the abyss, right? Or the bottomless pit where demons dwell. Of course, he doesn't know that. He's just like discovering. He's a scout. He's a pioneer, whatever it is. And he's concerned about his son. Although his mother told him, let's get out of here, he did not want to have anything to do with it. There's a circle here. I don't know what the heck that is. Right? Either it's a reflection, it's definitely not a reflection from my environment here, but maybe on the scene, or I think it means something else, or it's a reflection of this. I don't know. But to me, like I said, nothing is perchance here or just accidentally put.
Can you see anything?
Can you see anything? Right? He's worried about him while he's taking his descent, Cain's descent.
A cave.
Okay.
A cave of some sort, but
And again, I showed you what that is. It's like the reflections on Ripley's face, Lambert's face, and Dallas's face. I really don't know. Maybe Ridley can riddle us here. So maybe Ridley can resolve our riddle here. So one of the traits or characteristics of aliens here, or xenomorphs in this particular building, is in fact giants. They're giants. Let me show you something. Here they entered somehow the inner sanctum of that ship. When I don't believe this is the ship anymore, right? Because there's a cave. There are no caves in ships, man. I think the ship, when they entered the ship, there's something below the ship is where they entered, right? It's that hole. Because the acid has burned a hole in the ship itself. Let me show you. But before we go there, notice here, like I said, the camera here is moving. The camera here is moving, meaningly an alien is watching them. Notice there's some humming or background noise, or that subtle unheard communication between in the other world, right? And here there's the master place, right? The master chamber, or chamber of the master. Or if you want to interpret that or explain it in terms of that movie, then that's probably the queen's chamber. You know how ants have like queens and so on. And even here, they take that concept, like termites queen, ants queen, queen bee, and so on. And they take it and superimpose it or use it with subtlety in their movie right here. Okay, notice there is that knock, which is an alarm, right? What they mean here is there is some really big entity here, right? Sitting here. And that entity tried apparently through that Ripley here, or that Sierra, that supposedly fossilized one, which is still alive as I explained, and trapped here, tried to exit by way of that gun-looking thing, anti-aircraft artillery gun, but it's the 1.6, right? The 133. And now it's alarmed, there was tat, 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 right? And then it pulls back. I am not going to say it is afraid. No, no, by no means. Let me repeat that a little bit. Okay? So, see that? You hear that? You hear that? So, and now the entity is pulling out, right? So, is the entity here or the spirit or the xenomorph got spooked and now it's pulling back, right? I don't think it's spooked. It's just that the whatever was going on has come to fruition, is what I'm saying. This victim here has landed, or now whoever it is, this world is the one who told according to what they're thinking, is the one who told Abraham, or Dallas for that matter, or Adam, we'll find out, to take his son, right? Because now he's going to be used as a vehicle, right, to exit to the world, is what they're trying to say here. That's my 2 cents, right? I think I'm on the money, or right on track, good, correct track, toward a good resolution of this riddle. Not Ridley Scott, right? But uh, uh, but I could be off. I mean, yeah, I could be off, but not by much, really. I mean, I really broke the barrier, right? Broke through the barrier of what this movie is all about. Notice. But now the spirit got up, right? And that it's like too big, notice, because it's looking at Cain here, and Cain is too small, right? Notice it's got up and like going back, standing up. Could be flying as well. I don't know. And notice it's hovering now or standing up looking, but it's not visible. These guys just don't sense it. Now it's looking at him. Now it's inspecting the goods, right? Looking at the goods. Good meat, bad meat. Dumb eyes. I mean, like smart guy, not smart guy. But hey, meet your victim, or sheep or cow, or the one you're gonna slaughter, right? You look at it first, don't you? You make a close inspection of the quality. Yeah, it's moving around. Again, the camera here is definitely moving around. So like I said, I will repeat that again. There is a set of actors and characters, a crew, right? That is not identified or visible. So there's the 7 crew members, and then there's the 5, right? Maybe the 5 other crew members that are not so visible. Okay, so 12 or 11, I don't know. I mean, you get the gist here. Like I said, this here is a trapped woman. I mean, what you're seeing is really an alien, right? And then that gigantic face hugger. When you see a gigantic face hugger, it really means there's like high intelligence, advanced intelligence, advanced understanding, bravery, like way up, similar to comparing humans to monkeys for that matter. Okay, we've seen this, so I mean here, I don't know, I'm seeing as if there's like some kind of being, or maybe something there, I don't know, like a human head, or lasery object or something, right? Okay, I also see that reflection here, those reflections, I don't know what the heck they are really. I think they mean something here, notice. But it's not really organized. It's like semicircle with those 2 things in it, right? Could be a camera, and I'm like spinning my wheels here trying to understand what it is. And it could be as mundane or as simple as a reflection from something, right? Here, I'm seeing a face. There are 2 eyes, there's a nose, and there's an open gaping mouth, right? And the eyes are looking upward, and there's a gaping mouth, as if someone here is trying to tell them, you know, like, oh, don't come here, don't come here, don't come here, right? You know, trying to say something, trying to talk. But it's fossilized, you know. That's what I'm saying. There's a face here. I don't know.
Blood from inside.
And what happened with the rest of the crew?
I wonder what happened to the rest of the crew. The rest of the crew are the eggs, right? But
Get out of here.
let's get the hell out of here. She's right, right? They're gonna regret it. Okay, so now he goes.
Hey, Dallas. Lambert, come on over here.
So here, as you can see, this looks to me like a hole in the ship itself, right? In the spaceship itself, right? But here, apparently, it's been some acid, you know, like the acid from the xenomorphs, basically burned it, right? And it made a hole. And now whatever is in that cave is really not in the ship itself, right?
Come on.
It's below the ship. So the ship is sitting atop of a cave. Or those xenomorphs, right, drilled a hole by way of acid, and then the cave is underground, right, where the ship is sitting. Hence, right? And then those ribs and what I explained as phalluses and so on, they changed the ship to look like their cave, right? So the ship maybe was not like that, or it's just a representation, and you know, trying to play with our psyche here, saying that the ship is really is not a demonic ship, but a spiritual ship, but so and so, right? You know, like, but that's what it is.
What do you got? See what you make of this?
Yeah, that poor woman. Yeah, man, I'm gonna tell her to leave that Zion and stop hopping around and space jockeying and so on. Poor woman. So when he says, "What the hell is this?" what he really means is, "This is hell," right? This is hell. These people are in hell, or this is hell, right? That's what he is saying here. When they say God, they're talking about him, right? When they say hell, they're talking about it. Here, this is hell, right? That's what they really mean, right? Here, I am showing you a communication medium of the deep state, right? That's one of their communication mediums, not every other communication mediums. However, that deep state is not the only deep state. There is a deeper state still, and they're somehow they sense it and aware of it, but not exactly know how it works and where it works and so on. Believe me, if it was up to this deep state here, that spaceship Nostromo or what it represents, there would be no life by now, right? Okay, I explained to you in the addendum for video 4 that these are, you know, dead crew members and humans. So how many ships have actually arrived here? God knows, right? Right? I mean, what I'm saying here is, look, there's so much here going on in underground caves, right? And again, that's not part of the ship, right? Because caves are not part of ships. And then there was acid that opened the hole, right? So either that derelict ship either accidentally landed on top of this cave, or this cave was established afterwards. So this is the crew, right? Okay, and then maybe another ship is sitting on top of other corridors, right? Or caverns here, because it seems to me like there is some kind of a maze underground here. So maybe there's a ship here, maybe there's a ship elsewhere, and that has landed primordial time. And you see the an analogy here, and the argument I'm trying to make here about what this place here is. So, and again here, that's the only pit that is lit, right? Would be nice if you played your own the movie on your own screen. Again, sorry for my modest equipment here, and I'm like the producer, the the director of this commentary, and I own the modest studios here, studio, and so excuse me, but hey, you know, the meaning, like they say, is very clear here, and I broke through. Basically, I have a breakthrough here. And that looks to me, like I mentioned, a big giant xenomorph here. Look at those, right? Knuckles. I will show you what the xenomorph, what the, um, I will show you maybe in a follow-up on this video what the face hugger is, right? Now I showed you what the space jockey is. It's a woman, right? You know, hops along and so on, marries. An example of that would be really Esther. You know, if you read the Bible, and so Esther, when she went to Persia, she and Mordecai, and her name was Hadassah, right? Read it in your, it's in your Old Testament, right? And she married the Shah, right? Korosh, I think, Korosh or Cyrus, as announced in the West. And then she got him to kill all his people, well, almost all, right? So maybe this was, you know, the space jockey here was Esther, right? So Esther or Esther, well, watch it, it's or read it. It's in your Bible, right? Old Testament, and that Testament here, Testament is like, I think if I recall correctly, I read it like in the 80s, maybe 3 pages or something like that. So maybe that space jockey was Esther and this one is Sarah. I don't know. I mean, we'll find out. But there is a big chance that this Sarah or Ripley is modern day Sarah, 1979. And, you know, the other Sarah where the cat is, they kind of cat caught the cat and they're trying to deal with him now. Who is the cat? Ah, boy, I thought it was me, but guess what? Yours truly here is not in any movie yet. There are some coincidences, right? Very interesting coincidences, right? Even my own mother used to have that hair, kind of hair. And of the same thing, right? As Ripley or rip-off. Kane's descent. Okay, let's continue. Give me a few minutes here. The cave is completely enclosed, right? So it can't be part of that ship unless there is a compartment of that ship that nobody knows about that has those creatures in it, right? Or you know how sometimes, you know, some people hitch a ride, like you hear all these stories about people living in the ceiling, and then when you go to sleep at night they come down and start eating and whatnot. You know, it's a fantastic literature and stories, you know, anecdotes, but they're not really real. However, it's a possibility. That's what they're thinking here, is that they're building of Zion, right? We have that compartment that nobody knows about, that those aliens that are not seeing and roaming the ship, right, the hallways and the compartments of the ship, like the cameras I told you, maybe they have built their own in the ship that's floating in space. So is it a possibility? Perhaps. I don't think so, though I personally don't believe in all that. I mean, I believe in the existence of the other worlds, right? You know, the ones we call unseen, right? As per our belief in Islam. And some people tell you that's how it was before. Well, guess what? You know, your literature and manuscripts and whatnot are 8th and 9th centuries. That's like 300-400 years after the appearance of Islam itself, and even the Torah itself, supposedly it was like lost for 300 years and somebody just wrote it up and whatever, right? So here you can see there's 2, 4, 6, right? I think that's a reflection here. Well, there's 2, 4, 6, right? And then there's 1.
And it's full of leathery objects like
Leathery object. So these people use camels and cows and whatnot. It is to the leather of those, the hide, and they make shoes and saddles, and you know, and wear stuff, and you know.
eggs or something.
Notice the wire here. It looks like wire.
There's a layer of mist just covering the eggs that reacts when broken.
So here he just falls in. I mean, his carelessness and recklessness led him to a place where he couldn't hold himself anymore. You know, you can only be too careful, right? But apparently, if you're brazen and if you're rash and so on, the simplest of thing will drop you, right? That's what it's usually said. I'm gonna do some count here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blah blah blah. Right? And there's 2 and 2. There's like 2 and 2 and 2. There seems to be like 3 and 3. So that's 6 and 2 is 8, 9 and 10 and 11, right? I don't know. I think it means something here, but and again, the camera is moving, watching him, right? So the camera here is the other unseen spirit or entity or xenomorph.
No, I'm okay. All right. Okay, slick.
He slipped. What does that mean? Yeah, you slipped, right? Okay, let's do some count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I don't know. You can count if you want to. And that may mean something, really. I mean, honestly. They look like big omelets, right? You can make like a whole big giant omelet of this, one egg. You can make an omelet for about like 50 people or so. But these are people. I will show you. These are the original crew of the ship, or crews, not the CRUSE, crew, CREWS, right? Of the derelict ship, and many probably derelict ships. Some are dead. This one is still living. So the live pit here with the live leathery object is the crew of this ship here, the derelict ship where Esther or Sarah or Ripley, old Ripley or current Ripley still is, right? So now what I'm thinking here is this Ripley or Sarah, the one that is smothered by that gigantic face hugger and alien, right? Was the cat that the cat exited from. And you know what? I showed you that face, frozen, stiff, or petrified face that was staring at Dallas. Maybe that's the face of a cat. I don't know. So apparently, one woman is passing Jonesy to another, right? One Ripley passing Jonesy to another, or Sarah passing Jonesy to another Sarah. Again, it's very clear. You see it everywhere, right? Even in 1984, John Hurt. Remember John Hurt? When Winston, when he was being broken by O'Brien, the big brother himself, right? uh, and uh, uh, and he was showing him the 1-4. Coincidentally, he's playing the same role here, right? Notice the 1-4, right? He got caught by the 1-4. Now I heard or read somewhere that John Hecht was not meant to be an actor in this movie. It was somebody else. But then that guy got bronchitis or pneumonia or something, caught some kind of a bug, and then they had to bring John Hecht. That's not a coincidence. I think whoever wants him to be whoever wants him to be in this movie also wanted him to be oh, okay, if he was in that movie, the 1984, and being dealt the 4, right, also wanted to put him here. There is some kind of a divine intervention is what I'm trying to say here. Yeah, completely sealed. You can't move anywhere. Once you're caught by that word, you can't move anywhere. Yeah, you never play with something like this. Not while it's a species you never seen before, right? Like how poisonous it is. His mother tried to get out, and his father is worried about him, but they somehow underestimated or didn't even think of the lethality or how lethal this environment is, or it's going to be fateful, right? What the gist of this, and they didn't mean for you to understand the gist, is sometimes we walk into areas because we're careless and reckless, or environments or caverns or whatever it is, right? And you know what? We somehow get lost in there. And here I am seeing a face, right? So there's the eye, there's that nose, there's that mouth here. I swear, right? Look, right? I mean, you can make out a face here. Probably a camel. I don't know. I don't think so. Hisses. Here he activated. But I wanted to make sure to tell you something that I will show you later. Here, the sweats or the water or the fluids or the mucus is floating upward, anti-gravity, right? Notice. Oh, that's very significant. I will show you why that is later in the movie. I promise you that. That's transparent as well. In fact, I will show you this anti-gravity uh, later. Yeah, not in this video or the comment thereof afterwards or addendum, but later.
Wait a minute, there's movement.
Ah, there's movement. You dumb, you dumb smart person. Something like this. Oh, I would put a barrier between me and it before I even try to touch it.
Seems to have life.
This is like giving a carrot to dangling a carrot to a bunny in a hole, and then the bunny emerges, and you're hungry as a cow, and then you just eat it, right?
Organic life.
That internal thing opens up, which is really a human being, right? I heard these were like cow organs or stuff like that, but who cares? I mean, they look evil enough to me, right? So he's being mesmerized, right? Now I want to show you here. These are the tentacles of the xenomorph, right? It's one tentacle really, or one tail, right? But look, it's ribbed, just like those tubes and pipes all over the scenes, like whether on the console or the ship itself or here and there, they're always like ribbed. So here, the ribbed tail, right? You see the ribs, right? And it's flexible as well. I believe this is a matter of communications or provisions of money, right? You know, like and so on, because you know those people attract humans by money, like carrots, maybe, I don't know, right? And that's how they dispense to them something, right? Here also I'm seeing a face like a rat or something, right? There's some kind of a reflection. Let me play it slowly here. And there you got your sixes, right? 6, 6, 6. 1, 5, 5, 6. I don't know. Those mathematics were invented by Arabs. And here he has that Zoroaster or Magi's wings, which is angels and wings, right? Right. So there's something here, right? And oh boy, that's like weird. Yeah, there's something like that here. I think I see a face here. Oh man, that's ugly. You don't want to make omelet out of this, right? Here there's an eye, I think. You see an eye, right? There's an eye. You see the eye? The eye will get you. And there's probably another eye. I don't know. Eyes here. Eyes, eyes. Right? See the eye here? Yeah, it's a blue eye. Similar to that Sarah or Ripley or Hadassah or Estir that was sitting on. That's the space jockey, right? The ancient space jockey. Okay, I want to show you something here. I want you to hear the sound when it latches or locks onto his helmet, his face, right? It produces a sound. That sound resembles certain thing. I will explain it. Did you hear that sound? That sound, to me, I heard this before. Where did I hear it? Is if you ever watched a clip about a stoat or a weasel attacking a muskrat. You know those muskrats that live in ditches, MUSK rats, right? You call them muskrats. They live in ditches and eat grass, and they dive underwater to fish in ponds and so on. So during the struggle, when the weasel is struggling, trying to subdue and paralyze or kill that rat, at one point it twists its very flexible body around, and it bites on the back of its neck or the skull, right? And that's when it really pierces its teeth, pierces the spine of the muskrat, right? And then the muskrat chirps from pain, and that's how it sounds like. And now we go that from whatever to whatever, right? I mean, they pass all the thing, right? They pass all stages, and they're showing you the ship outside, right? That derelict ship. Now he's caught, and the camera here is moving, meaningly whoever outside now, whoever caught or latched itself, that entity latched itself, right? That huge face hugger, right? Latched itself to cave. It exited from the cave. Now it's looking at the ship. Notice. And then the ship, under the ship, there are all those dead, probably humans, crew members, civilizations, you name it, right? That's what they're trying to say here. So here, if you look at Ash, he does resemble something to me. And again, he's red, right? He's on the red side. He's like, he's on the side of Reds, maybe Cincinnati Reds. I don't know, right? But he looks like something to me, right? Let me tell you who he looks like. Give me a second. Okay, so he looks like if you look at that novel by Clive Staples Lewis, C.S. Lewis, the Screw Tape Letters, and then there's a devil on the face of, or on the cover of that novel, and it's a devil, right? That has, his hands on under his chin and so on. I remember I took my youngest daughter one time to a bookstore here, cafe and so on and so forth, and she looked at that novel, and she asked me, you know what she asked me? She says, why is that monster sad, right? Why is that? I still remember here, my daughter Hannah, right? She says, why is that monster sad? And that's exactly how he was looking, right? Remember? So this is the monster or the devil of C.S. Lewis in his novel, on the cover of his novel, Screw Tape Letters, right? And then he's on the red side. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing here. Could it be? Ask Ridley. He will resolve that riddle for you. Or he could have been waiting, like that posture, holding your head and so on. He could be just waiting, because he now lost communications and so on, as I explained earlier, that like blurred screen and miscommunications. I think the communications was jammed, right? But now he sees them, right? I don't know what the heck that is. This looks to me like some entity here, right? They're carrying their son, Lambert and Kane, but there's someone here, right? I don't know who that is. Or it could be just an apparatus. Aha. So my theory about Jonesy having been ejected or burst out of the space jockey's chest, right, now came to this particular space jockey, right, who is Ripley, who is Sarah, or the one before here, right, the one on the chair, right, where it was smothered. So what I am understanding here is that the space jockey has failed in releasing or grabbing Jonesy, right? But now she passed it on to this particular Sarah or Ripley, right? See, that's why they show you that. So now, whatever, and it does appear like she knows, right? or by way of spirituality, whatnot, and then blah 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 blah, right? So now what I'm thinking is Cain now came carrying the xenomorph. You have to have watched the movie before you know what I'm talking about here, right? So when the xenomorph burst out of Cain's chest cavity, right? So he has brought it, and now uh, they show you uh, Jonesy, and Jonesy is in fact is the intended recipient of the xenomorph that now is settled or inhibiting uh, Cain's chest cavity, right? She's waiting. So Cain is really, or Ishmael is really the bait, right? He will be the temporary carrier, right? But they will work it out where whatever xenomorph in Cain will be transformed to uh, uh, to Jonesy. I don't think he's David. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. I don't think so. I don't think so. At the end of the movie, I don't believe that's the case. Okay, let's continue. See now, Jonesy shows up. Okay, so I thought there was someone there. It's not. But it could be, you never know.
I'm right here.
She seems to be in waiting, right? As if she's got something going on in there. Maybe her relationship with Parker and Brett, who have disappeared after she had that encounter with them, and testy encounter, like where when she threatened Parker and reassured Brett, right? We don't see them anymore, right?
Okay, Ripley, I'm in the log house now.
Right.
So the tone of Ash seems like he's in a hurry and all busy and filled with expectations and hopes, and there's a change in the environment, in the atmosphere now. So the safe is in now. The money safe is captured and brought into on board.
Right here.
We're clean, let us in.
What happened to Kane?
Something has attached itself to him. We have to get him to the infirmary right away.
What kind of thing? I need a clear definition.
An organism. Open the hatch.
Wait a minute. If we let it in, the ship could be infected. You know the quarantine procedure.
24 hours for decontamination.
He could die in 24 hours. Open the hatch.
Listen to me.
So here, what they're trying to say is Ripley is unlike other Ripleys or Sarahs or Hadassahs or Esteers, right? Here, she is very strict about playing by the book and very cautious, very strict. So I am sure if she was down with Dallas and she was mother of Cain, right, she would not have allowed him to go through what she would have been very strict and very rough, right? So here, being according to the book, being book smart, being street smart, being whatever, will allow her to eventually succeed or survive, as they're saying here. Where other Sarah's the one that was the space jockey, so the other space jockey, the one that's fossilized, did not succeed, and probably many others did not succeed. This space jockey, or Sarah or Ripley, will succeed. That's the gist of the movie toward the end, right? And then now we see Jonesy, right? So does she know? I am thinking she knows or does not know. Why is she here? Wanted to quarantine? Well, it's very simple. Because she wanted to make sure that what came back is really what they're looking for, right? Here, that's why she wants to quarantine. So if it's not what they were hoping for, or their mission is all about, that very particular gigantic space hugger or xenomorph, she will reject it and then just will throw it out, keep it outside of the ship. You understand what I'm saying? So here she's being careful, not simply because of safety, right? Or not taking a risk or whatever it is. No, no, no. She's very keen on knowing who and who is not, right? So if this xenomorph is a small xenomorph, right? Is a cockroach. she's gonna trample upon it. But if it's that big, that's how they think.
If we break quarantine, we could all die.
Huh? But Would you open the goddamn hatch?
So damn, right? I know, they say that damn them, right? But now, anyways, here the mother is concerned about her son, right?
We have to get him inside.
No.
No, and she licked her lips, right? Why did she lick her lips? Like there she's drooling. Maybe here's what I am thinking, and I will prove that theory. I will prove that theory in the follow-up of addendum to this video. That she wants to keep them out, right? So she would force the death of Cain. Why, you will come to see. She wants Cain to die outside, right? Outside of the ship. But Ash here has his own agenda, right?
And if you wouldn't like position, you do the same.
Ripley, this is an order. Open that hatch right now. You hear me?
Yes.
Ripley, this is an order. You hear me?
Yes. I read you. The answer is negative.
She's very strict, that's the secret. She is here, she is on a mission, right? She's on a mission within the mission, right?
In the hatch.
So here you can see there's like a reflection of a hand, right? I don't know, that's also again, there's a reflection of a, hand. That's not my hand. I have fat fingers.
The answer is negative.
In the hatch.
So he opened the 1-4. Did you see that sign? Okay. So you see, there's a hand moving. I don't know. Maybe it's just a reflection, maybe. I don't know. Open the package. A big omelet right there. Yeah, it's like cracking an egg. Did you see that? It's like cracking an egg. They just cracked an egg. All right. We'll continue. I'll do some 15 more minutes or 18 more minutes and then we'll stop here. But in the addendum, right, I will explain a few things here that I didn't explain before. I will show you precisely to what this here is and what it is doing. This is not what you think it is. It's definitely not what you think it is. Actually, how did I know it was? I watched certain thing, right? I watched certain thing, right? And then it's scientific thing, medical thing or scientific. And then thought I saw something there, and that's what tipped me off. But here, you're gonna also notice the knuckles. They have faces, right? As if they're birds or creatures of the sort, right? They're dangling from this here, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 8, right? 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there's 1 and 1. But here are like the faces of creatures, right? They're like chickens, maybe. I don't know.
What the hell is that?
All right.
Jeez.
Okay, so now here, Parker is looking at some porn magazine, right? And Jesus Christ, could this be Jesus Christ? Right? Face hugger, not yet. As you can see, there's a here, it's a porn movie, and then you would see that picture elsewhere, right? I don't know, says Asia. I don't know. Asia maybe? Lisa? Licia? I don't know. You have to get Ridley to solve that riddle for you.
Hey, how the hell is he?
This sounds to me like it's close to where that hibernation chamber is, right? It looks close to it.
Breathing.
How the hell is he breathing?
Why don't you guys freeze him?
Freeze him. Remember the word freeze him. It'll come up again. Freeze him. What he means by that is freeze his activities, his membership, his belonging, blah blah. What that means is just kill him, right? Or he doesn't, or freeze him, meaningly wash his brain, deafen him, and then shut him up, similar to those three monkeys. You know, one has hands on eyes, one has them on the ears, and one has them on the mouth, right? So that's what he's saying. Freeze him. You know, like we don't need this load here that we don't know who it is, right?
How come they don't freeze him?
But obviously, there is the other inhabitants or crew members on the ship, the actors that I talked to you about, right? So if you realize that, you will see that they're also controlling the flow of events, right? So he wants to shoot him, right? Freeze him.
What's going on, man? What the fuck is going on?
So now, what the fuck is going on here? She slapped her, and that she says because she's Hagar, right? And then Sarah or Ripley threw her out, told her husband Abraham to take her and her son and take the concubine and her son and throw them out, right? She was a teenager, she wasn't that old. So now that confirms my theory that what the fuck is going on, right? You bitch, right? Hey, hey. You would have left us out there, right? See what I'm saying? This is an order. So obeying an order is not always good, is what Ripley is doing, right? Is taking chances against the hierarchy.
It's against the law?
Even if it's against the law.
Well,
Well, maybe she has a point. Who the hell knows what that thing is? Now, this guy here is concerned because he's the fallen angel, he's the devil, right?
she has a point, you know?
Not himself, I'm sorry to say so, but that's how they're portraying that particular entity here.
Who the hell knows what that thing is? Gonna get that up?
Now, his father is concerned, right? How are we going to get that thing off?
How we gonna get...
Now, notice Parker is always chewing. What that means is his involvement, they have always to pay him, or he's chewing people or something of the sort, right? They're always paying him. That's what the food means here. And this here looks weird to me, huh? At least it's circumcised. Oh, okay.
Trying to move from the digital strip. You gonna do what? Finger. The turn.
Finger, right?
Just a minute.
Now notice here, you will not see those faces I just mentioned earlier on the fingers or the knuckles, right?
I know.
It's very powerful. And look at his skin is turning red here. Notice, now we hear the humming noise, which means the entities that are around here watching what's going on, making sure that this comes to fruition, or the gestation period, you know, results in real life xenomorph, right? They began to hum, you know, like saying, these two guys are doing something bad, right? His father is concerned. You hear the humming noise, so there's communications. Now that those crew members, the spirits are saying, what they're doing to him.
We'll have to take a look at inside. Right. How come they don't freeze him?
How come they don't freeze him, right? He did that with his hand, meaningly, you know, paralyze him, meaning something, right? Right? They expelled him out of the ship and. Or he wants him frozen because freezing him prevents him from moving, and if there is anything inside of him that will depart him, right? Maybe that's what it is. I have a point to make about that. See, he's always eating. And that means, you know, like he always gets paid, you know. That's why they're able to keep him, because they're always feeding him. He needs to eat, right?
All right, you can take your mask off.
Notice these guys back there are watching with keen interest, you know, like full curiosity, right? I don't know. There's 3 and 3. Missing someone here, right? There's where's Brett? I don't see Brett. See, I don't see Brett here. Where's Brett? Oh no, there he is. It's just something's reflecting. Okay. Okay, there he is.
What's it got down his throat?
I would suggest it's feeding him oxygen.
This is not sexual, Fox. I will show you what that means.
Otherwise, his own puts him in a coma.
Oxygen here means something else. Feeding him is something else altogether. It's not what you think it is.
It keeps him alive. What the hell is that? I'm gonna get it off him.
See, now this guy is worried because he has his own agenda that conforms or comes in common interest with the unseen entities here that are watching the scene.
Let's not be too hasty.
Notice the xenomorphs, or those aliens that you don't see, the spirits, they still don't intervene. They will only intervene when they feel that their project, and they will like try, of course they are able to stifle any attempts to derail their work and everything else, right? But they are usually patient. They will use all kind of means and so on and so on to complete their mission, right? However, if at one point these guys are successful, this guy is successful, or anybody else in derailing their project, that's when they whack them, right? They make a direct intervention.
I don't know anything about it.
What I just said is very important, you guys.
Now we're assuming it's feeding him oxygen. If we remove it, could kill him.
He is talking oxygen, but he knows what's going on there, and that's no oxygen. See,
I'm willing to take that chance. Just cut it off from now.
You take responsibility.
Yes, I'll take responsibility. Get him out of it.
all right. Now we see those faces again, those knuckles. Man, that's ugly.
Making a decision just a little bit knuckle there. It's done by.
That's weird. All right. So I'm gonna stop here because here I'm gonna shift gear and show you exactly what the acid mean, what the oxygen mean, what the face hugger is, and who Brett represents, and so on and so forth. So from here on, but I'm gonna stop. I don't wanna like cut it into piecemeal it, like put some here and then leave the rest later. They all clump together, you know. There's a higher explanation of things now. So I'm gonna stop here. Let's see, right? Right. So that thing's gonna eat through the damned hull. Come on. All right. All right, let's stop here. Or I tell you what, I have another acid. Now we're talking acid, right? Deck J. I'm gonna make a note here, funny note, you know, a transverse note, a side note about what I just saw here. So that's the ladder. If you remember, there was a ladder in front of a room or a chamber, and that was guarded by 2 space suits and red items and so on. You know, don't come near us. Yeah, mother or else, right? So that's the 4 right there, right?
This way.
Okay, I want you to notice something here. So that's Parker, right? You see it? So Parker here has some stains on his ass, right? So as if he just blew a volcano-sized fart or something like that, that was like very muddy or see it right there, right? Not just that, his shoes are cheap as well, right? But there you go. That's like, or maybe he picked it up when he sat down in that chair where Ash was sitting, and he told him to get out of his chair and so on. So there you go. Let's try again, right? So we'll end here with fun. So that's what I'm seeing. You see that, right? Now they remove it later, right? And then here, right? So I'll stop here at minute 41:10, and then all right, that's good enough for today. And addendum and more explanations will come later. Bye now.